Hello, man, it's Earth. In fact, keys have to go down. So, it's been ages since I recorded a video, but that's not true. Trying to compile everything that's happened in my thoughts and like figure out how to give them to you. So, since we last spoke, I don't remember what's been going on. If I've even explained like blueprint theory and how it this place makes you just pause and you can't do anything else because life is just at this very odd but magical balance of itself. And also I'm in a forest, and forest, it turns out, is very much like my nature or something. Oh, okay, there's a rock. Okay, and actually, I'm just gonna, be a little more exposed to the world. Okay. So, blueprint theory. You know about the left and the right brain and like how they go across each other and the whole unbalanced mind equations. Because I think at this point, our brains are these equations, and I watch people try to constantly balance them, like with all their drug use. They'll just do like nicotine, but then they'll also do alcohol, and it's always like, I am not on drugs, because we like pretend that they aren't drugs, but it's like, they're always balancing together the negatives and the positives. It's like, because sugar tends to be like positives. And then the withdrawals, I think, are the opposite of the effect of the drug. Like if it's a depressant, like alcohol while you're drinking it, it's a stimulant whenever you're withdrawing from it. But possibly on a different perspective of like the PNS and the central nervous system. Alright, so the peripheral nervous system is like your skin, it's peripheral nervous system is, basically your skin, like that large organ interacting with the environment, like on the hands, on everything. And you'll feel things like touch you. And that's the nerves spreading out back to your body. And then the central nervous system is going to be more like the brain and the spine and just all that interaction. And so you have the afferent and the efferent nerves. Afferent nerves go in, like from the skin to, I think, the spine. I get a little confused on that front. YouTube is going to be a great resource here. Hopefully, because I don't actually know. And then efferent nerves with the E, E-F-F-E-R-E-N-T, yeah. So that's going to be going outwards, so like from your spine to your body, signaling what to do. So it tells your body like, oh my god, like run away, or like that you need food, or that a stove is hot. And actually, I think the way they found out that there were even nerves is like this girl, I'm laughing, but it's not funny, like she like would touch a hot stove and like couldn't tell. And so they're like, oh, I guess this is a mechanism of the brain. And so I figure out a lot of stuff. It's like, that shouldn't be happening. Oh, I guess we're not holograms, like this is an actual thing. I have these oils in my hair from Mazias, who's like this fucking badass with this water. I've actually never felt so hydrated before, but I can tell you more about him later. I want to go lie over there. So, like, when I'm watching people lately with all these drugs, they really do, like, reach for them automatically. It's this automatic response. Like, they'll have alcohol around while smoking cigarettes, while doing weed. And I've had people start to kind of notice. I'll just, like, tell them, yeah, look at what you're doing. And they actually start to notice it, like they hadn't before. And, that was me as well. Oh, my God, there's grass. Look, it's so green. Oh, it's been so long since I've seen green grass. Okay, so that's kind of like the most recent thing I've been working on. Oh my god, look at the trees. And I do think it interacts differently, because there was this time that I was high. I could hear everything the person was saying, but I think fine motor movement can be lost, like with the Wernicke's and Broca's area in your left hemisphere. So what those things do is they actually help you, if they get harmed, Broca's area, if it gets harmed, everything turns into like word salad. I could, Istan, oh no, that wouldn't be it. Word things with mouth do what now? Like you say words, but they don't actually make sense in their order. And then what have you heard? Wernicke's area, which is closer to the prefrontal cortex. Prefrontal cortex, occipital lobe is at the very back, and then parietal and temporal. Oh wait, I might have mixed up parietal and temporal. Yeah, no, sorry. Temporal is at the top, and then parietal is beneath. And it's like, as the brain, it's got the lobes like separated. And they're not like completely separate, functions, because they test that by like harming them and then seeing if you can still function without them, and you can. So it's more of an interactive system among all of it. God, look at that! It's so beautiful. I just don't have tons of time to go do it. I need to be heading to Lubbock. So, oh yeah, with these areas, I'll notice with people how it interacts with their brain and like how they'll start repeating things. Especially when people are on depressants, they rely more on memory and they'll like repeat the same thing. And with like drunk people, they'll repeat the same thing over and over again, the same story. It's because their brain is more reliant on memory than neurogenesis. And I think the memory is like going up the spine. It's maps that we've recorded throughout the day. Like with all this, with this tree, you record the blueprint of the tree, of the material world in your left hemisphere. And then later on, like if I was, coming back this way, especially if it had like apples on it, then my brain would have stored that, especially if I ate one from it. And so if I came back here in a week, my brain would see the memory of this tree. Or, it might see a tree with that similar like scaling to it, like this one over here. And it would take that blueprint and then try to actually see it again. It's why whenever sometimes you're looking at something and it feels like your brain is like trying to see a memory in it, you're like, oh, that reminds me of this. That's your blueprint coming up, essentially. And I think it goes up the spine. And then if I close my eyes and concentrate, I usually can feel heat in the occipital lobe. And I've asked others about this too, like, to try to get unbiased feedback. And they, like, said the same thing, like, that they felt the heat. And then it goes up through, there's these strands, basically, from your occipital lobe to your actual eyeballs. And I think that's an actual projection of that blueprint into your eyes. And so you see that, and then your brain sparks neurogenesis looking around you. It takes this field of view and reconfigures it, both taking in that blueprint and then taking in the current moment, and that's sparking neurogenesis. And you'll notice in people that when they're on drugs, neurogenesis seems to get really messed with. And I think it gets messed with in ADHD as well, like sparking neurogenesis is hard when they rely on memories more. And those memories kind of turn to anger, like once your limbic system activates, which is your feeding, fleeing, fighting, and fucking. It seems to keep you from neurogenesis. It's more about the fighting, and then it's harder to reevaluate resources. And I'd love to do studies to figure out where exactly that is, because I don't know yet. I'm getting kind of sick of testing drugs, to be honest. Like, I'm really done with that. I haven't been on caffeine in a while, so taking that one again would be... Oh yeah, so I got high and was like watching this, speaker in Marfa who was talking about these warships, and it was really cool. Like, it was, but the first half was cool, and then I come back after a while, and I think that's when I was on the withdrawals, because it had been a few hours, and my inner voice wouldn't stop talking. Whenever you're on caffeine, it's like you can't shut up, outside of your face, talking, because it's all just so reactive. And if you notice it with people on caffeine, you'll notice their amygdala gets activated really quick. Like, they're ready to fight so quickly. And they just keep rebounding on the words, because it's like they rebound off the amygdala, or the limbic system. And so, instead, I couldn't stop thinking a lot. I wasn't allowed to speak, because we were at the, like, sitting in a room listening to a guy. So that could have been the factor that made me internalize, and otherwise I would have spoken aloud. But then instead it went inside my head, and I couldn't stop the thoughts. It became aware of it, and still could not. So it's like there was a stimulant on another internal level, which could be the CNS instead of like the PNS, the central nervous system versus peripheral nervous system. Whew. Oh yeah, and I think I can move forward with box of chocolates in a way and do mixed suicide. Okay, so the mixed suicide is where I'm going to do the machine study, like I've already proven to myself on a very oh, what is it called? Like when a study is really planned and coordinated and it's got like not all that biased shit to it. Whatever. Okay, so I proved to myself that all this stuff can like make you suicidal, and we are actual animals, you know. And when I have this, you know, like specifically the shake and then McDonald's, you know, the toxins, and eventually I'll try to like narrow those down per meal and toxin and everything else, and the hormones, and then do it one by one. But this will just be detox for a week on organ meat in a controlled room, hopefully with Abby, and hopefully with this new guy who's got a neurodegenerative disorder, who's like this badass, and he like does this biking thing, and like pushes for this, and he wants a cure to this neurodegenerative disease. And then I watched this little girl have it, and I think he gets the same pain that I do watching kids and all these things, and they lose movement in their bodies, and like twitching, and these things can happen to me on like a micro scale, you know, is why I believe this so firmly, is like I'll have hearing voices and lack of control of thoughts and can't do memory, and my amygdala activates and body twitches, and I notice that it's just these reactions of the body that are supposed to be natural that get caught, like Parkinson's, you know, you get caught in this path. And then I'm noticing Alzheimer's more, but that can be another video. So yeah, we will do that, detox for a week on organ meat in a room and nothing else. And then after that, have a McDonald's meal and see how the brain reacts, maybe for a few days. And then eventually see if we can cure his mental disorder. I don't know. But the three of us could hang from the golden arches. Do you want to see a little more nature? Because it's like, this place is so gorgeous. It's near Flagstaff. It's like a national park. Alright. Hi. I'm returning to life. And Lubbock, actually. And I'm very excited to. I want to see Abby. It's been far too long. Also, this spot is so perfect. I would come here and write, like, every day. Goodbye.